And greetings everybody, it appears as if we are on. So, topic of the video today, as you can clearly see up there, we're going to be talking about the recent black baggings that have been happening, so to speak, on the Antifa protesters. Now, apparently, after a federal building was sieged by Antifa kiddies, they decided to send in the feds, the courthouse, rather. A federal building, a courthouse, was sieged by Antifa activists in Portland. And the first thing that happened to them was that they were given a warning. Please go. This is not going to happen. We are not going to let you burn this place down. Now, naturally, these people reacted with shock and horror. What do you mean you're not going to let us burn everything down? But I want to burn it down. Their thought process, I swear, is like that of a demented 2-year-old. And I mean that in a technical sense. 2-year-olds don't really quite have that much empathy, you see, which is why they tend to be very, well, say, not so even-tempered. But the Antifa activists have now been effectively abducted or arrested by federal agents, decked out in body armor, weaponry, what have you. And here's what I say to that. Good. I have no tolerance for people who start fights and then scream in shock and horror the second somebody throws a punch their way. Which is precisely what's going on with the Antifa. They have been a rising movement in the United States that is based primarily off of their one and single solitary strength, and that is they are willing to be more unpleasant and more violent than the people that they have been attacking. You can be a 5'0" 100-pound man, and you can absolutely win a fight against a 6'2" beefcake if he doesn't want to hit you, if he's not willing to hurt you, and you have every willing to hurt him, and you've got a bat, or a bike lock, or a K-bar knife, as some Antifa people are fond of using. But the second that person chooses to fight back, you, my friend, are not going to have a good day. And that is precisely what is happening. The members of Antifa are basically crying foul because they have been being able to have the absolute run of the place. They've been running around, knocking things over, and everybody's been like, oh, maybe if we let them run around, maybe they'll get tired. Maybe they'll have their fun and go home. And that is quite possibly the worst way to handle this situation. The critical flaw that most people have when dealing with these people is that you think that if you give them something, that they will be content with that. Let me give you a quick little lesson in malevolence, because this is something that everyone needs to hear, and too few people are taught today. There are some people in this world that don't want things to be given to them. They are not going to be content if you give them something. What they want is to take from you. They want to feel the ability that they can take something from you. Because they don't want your material possessions. They might want them, but that's not what they're really after. They're after your pride. They are after you. They are after your determination. They are after your spirit and will to fight back. Antifa doesn't want to tear down statues. Antifa doesn't want to rip down monuments or deface buildings. They want to humiliate people. They want to be the boot that stands on the neck and laughs. They want to be the people marching down the street where no one is willing or able to stop them It is 100% an ego power trip. And the more you feed it, the worse it gets. Well, guess what? It's been fed for years and years and years by appeasement from limp-wristed bureaucratic politicians who thought that they would never be on the chopping block. Thank you, Minneapolis, Seattle, Portland. How you doing? Doing well? I didn't think so. So now, Antifa is being arrested off the streets. They have been marked as a domestic terrorist organization. And unfortunately, they were the ones who messed with the bull. And now, we have to watch them reap the whirlwind. Get the horn. But weirdly enough, this is actually not the worst case scenario for them. It could have been far worse. And let me tell you how it could have been far worse. The entire time, the people of the United States have been sitting back, and they have been in a stupor almost, as cities have burned, as children have been shot, and they have been wondering, well, when is the police department going to step in? When is this whole thing that we have built and supported through generations of effort, when is it going to step in and stop the barbarians at the gate? Well, it has. It has. Not a moment too soon. Because what happens when people lose their faith in law and order? Well, not everyone's a kneeler. What's going to happen, and what might still happen if things don't pick up, is that some people are going to decide to take matters into their own hands. And I've seen these Antifa people. I've talked with them. I've seen them up close. They will lose. And they will not only lose the physical battle, but they will lose everything. Everything about their ideology will be pushed back, which is a damn shame in some regards, because some of the people that have sided themselves with Antifa are in fact people that are halfway decent people, with halfway decent ideas. The problem is that now everything that Antifa touches will be stained with the blood of children, will be stained with the blood of officers, will be stained with the blood of American small businesses that were just trying to make it, until a mob showed up at their door and burned their store to the ground. And now everybody doesn't disavow them because they're looking for points on Twitter is going to be attached to them. Good job, idiots. And I mean this to the politicians. Good job for feeding this monster. I mean this to every single chicken hawk sitting on their couch, watching things burn, thinking, yeah, well, it's not my house, so I guess it's okay. Shame on you for supporting that, for not empathizing with the people who were losing their homes and losing their life's work. Well, now things are going to get a little worse. Now the Fed is going to start black-bagging people. I don't want to see that happen. I would rather see polite public discourse. And you know what I would rather see more than the Fed's black-bagging too? I would rather see a counter-mob form. I would rather see that. But unfortunately, that time has gone and passed. The people that would have formed that counter-mob, they weren't allowed. They weren't given the same privileges. So now that's happening. But that's about all my thoughts for this. Stay safe, and remember, listen to no one.